So who else is here? Joe? Hi,
Hi,
how
the
are
Irving
you?
Shakespeare Company.
Good morning.
Morning. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, and Connie's here. Good. Jenna, remind me, you're with which company?
I'm with True North.
Ah.
My offices are in White Plains, but I live in the river towns.
Got it. Hi, Connie.
Hi. I couldn't unmute myself, but now I'm working. Oh, right? You hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. My first didn't work, so I re-registered myself.
That was my problem too. I think I had done it wrong, probably.
Okay, because I went to my calendar. How's everyone this morning?
Pretty good. Pretty
Good. Good. I think I saw Jenna, right?
Yes.
Good morning, Connie.
How are you, Jenna?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We never got together for our little coffee. We need to do that. Life got in the way.
Yes, it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely all good. Absolutely all good. Let's see, who else? Good morning, Cameron. How are you? Lucas
Good. Hello. Good morning.
and Joe, thank you for joining us.
Morning.
Good morning. Hi, Heather.
Good morning. Hi. Sorry.
Always on the
Zoom link
run.
was not working.
Morning.
No, you're always on the run.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying the Zoom link wasn't working from the calendar invite. It was
Yes, I
saying that
know.
the
That's what
host-
I exactly. The same thing happened for me. The two moderators were having access problems. But we're here.
Awesome.
Wonderful. I'm glad everyone was able to join us. Cameron, I don't know you. Maybe you can introduce yourself and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, of course. I'm from Irvington. I live in Irvington and I run the Irvington Shakespeare Company. It's our third year in existence and I just joined the chamber. So I'm very
nice.
excited to be here. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining our chamber meeting. Hi, Lucas. How are you?
Hi, Connie. Good to see you.
Good to see
here in Greenberg. Greenberg's starting a chamber of commerce, apparently, slowly but surely.
Oh, are
So,
they?
That's new.
How did you hear about it?
The organizer of it has a mutual friend and reached out because he wanted some tech support for it. So I think they're still just doing leadership meetings, and they'll be going out. Paul Feiner is making it one of his initiatives for the year.
Well, that's great. That's great. Well, I'm very happy that we have someone from the village here to help us through this next year, especially as we try to really establish some events for Ardsley, to put our downtown area to participate in with the Rivertowns chambers. We had a little bit of a slow start last year, right? But maybe this year with some advanced planning, we can get it off the ground and start moving. Dina, is Vance not joining us?
I don't think Vance is joining us, but I see that Michelle is trying to. So I'm sorry, I was just trying to text her.
I got it.
She's there. Okay.
Link on the chamber calendar is different than what's on the website.
Yeah, some of us had some trouble getting in there. I did too.
Well, we just introduced ourselves, Michelle, and Joe has joined us from Ardsley. Thank you so much. Our goal here is to just become a much more active downtown Ardsley, and the best way to do it is to have the Ardsley community and the businesses really active in trying to make it a more vibrant downtown area. We definitely have challenges because of our makeup, our geography, but I think that we can work towards, really making it an active part of all the activity that takes place in the other Rivertown villages. And we hope to achieve that with, at the end of the year, the holiday trolley. And I think the first on our agenda is our Ardsley Day, right, Dina?
Yes.
That's our goal, is to get that off the ground and have our community members participate. Let's see, what else can we address, Joe, for you? Is there some concerns that have been raised? I know that the Chamber of Veterans wants to assist us in getting this off the ground, and you and Nancy have shown us that you're also willing to participate in some way.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
think,
don't mean to put you on the spot in any way, but
Yeah, I'll
let's
just
get a
say,
dialogue started, right?
we have, just for Ardsley Day, you could table that. I have a meeting scheduled with Joe and Nancy on Friday to.
Right.
I apologize real quick. I just got to take a call. I'm just going to go on mute for a sec.
Okay.
So we do have an initial meeting to discuss kind of what the chamber can be responsible for in getting that off the ground, and how the village can work to support that. And that probably will have to get, I would imagine that have to go through the Board of Trustees for approval, because we'd need support with like in-kind services, and that would have to come out of a budget, and that has to get approved. So, more to come on that. I think that the event will help you guys with outreach. We'll, as a part of planning the event, like we do with, past other events that we've done, there's a lot of like one-to-one outreach to businesses. And so I think you'll engage some more businesses in Ardsley through planning that event.
Great. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I think that was my main agenda for today.
Yeah, I thought that's what we were talking about today.
Right. Right, Heather?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it would be great. There's the logistics side of it, like what the chain, like that's my conversation with them initially, is like what the chamber can support logistically, reasonably, financially, and how we might need to partner with the village. But the creative side of it, the input from businesses on how you would like to see that event come to fruition, what you want that to look like, what do we want music and kids activities, do we what elements are most important to you, is feedback the chamber could definitely use here.
Okay, great. So we'd look to our community, our local businesses to help us create that committee, I would imagine, right? Heather, what do you? I think that.
So we would need like a committee to organize this?
That's
so there will be like kind of hard logistics that the chamber can support, like managing sponsorships and making sure that those sponsors get recognized, putting together like branded promotion for it and using our channels for it. But as with any event, there is always an open invitation for businesses to participate and drive, the creative side of things. So for example, Rivertown Public Market, there's a small committee that does a lot of the creative vision for the event, looking at what vendors would be really good, connections that they may have for sponsorships, but a lot of the like on the ground logistics will get picked up by the chamber staff. Does that make sense? Does it help outline it a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Google Doc for it right now.
Okay. So we'd love to have participation in that.
So you're thinking, Michelle, to do some outreach to the businesses and get some feedback specific, just like a one-on-one, like tell us, or send some kind of survey or some kind of just to all the businesses and let them know this is happening.
For this, it would be kind of like what we did for the food event, where we had a kind of standard like letter inviting them to participate. if the timing allows for Ardsley Day, maybe even more than just to participate, but like ideas for what you would like to see the event be. And certainly if anybody on this call has an idea of, past Ardsley Day, what worked, what you might like to see differently. We're envisioning something in the downtown area with possibly a shuttle between businesses. I know that other ideas like at a park has been thrown out there, but because the businesses and the reps are expressing interest in figuring out how to make Ardsley feel more approachable, getting faces or eyes on the downtown businesses. I know there's new businesses downtown, in downtown Ardsley downtown, and it's important to the chamber to not just kind of highlight people online or like at a tent at a park, but really like get people to see and experience their businesses and recognize where they are. I think that's an important piece of it. But any feedback anyone has now as the planning gets started is certainly welcome. And I know Connie,
I'm just wondering,
you've given some feedback from the Google Doc. Heather, I don't know, and anybody else on this call, if you guys have any like wish list stuff for the event.
I'm just wondering, it says minimal street closures, but then it says street closures and setup begins at 11. Are you recommending that they close that street that they used to close when they did Ardsley Day, which is like the street leading up to DeChico's?
Center Street, right?
Yeah, I think the idea is to keep the same format as far as street closures, but open to what you guys as businesses in Ardsley have to give on feedback about this. So let me know is basically what I'm saying at this point. Let me know if you have any feedback as to how you want to see it, so that we can incorporate that in our asks.
I mean, for me, like, I don't really think, sorry, I don't know what just happened to Zoom. Like having a setup outside of my physical business doesn't make a lot of sense because I can't. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't, my Zoom is just acting super weird. I can't envision people like coming up Sawmill Road, River Road to like that shopping center. I feel like everyone's gonna be.
Oh, now she's paused for me now.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll pop back.
Give her a second.
Mhm.
I'll say while we're waiting for her to come back, that's the idea, with the trolley, not just for a parking shuttle, but how can we incorporate other areas? I think Heather has pointed out in the past, and obviously this would take working with the landlord, as she isn't sure what the landlord's position might be on it, but obviously those businesses in that shopping center and all of that space and those parking spaces and what could happen there, right? Like how could that be more of an event center, would be great. That I think specifically, would take some participation from the villages in that shopping center to get their landlord to participate. So I think it would be like the chamber reaching out to the villages or the businesses to say, we want to incorporate your shopping center. Are you interested? Can you help with this discussion with your landlord and figuring out, how we can incorporate the shopping center? That's how that would kind of go down.
I wonder how that worked with DeChico's, for example. If we close Center Street, obviously there's no access to the store. So
Yeah.
I don't recall in the past how that was managed.
Yeah, I don't either. Maybe Nancy knows. I mean, in my head, I was thinking they probably don't close the entrances to the parking lots, right? Like they probably don't close the entrance to the CVS parking lot and DeChico's up top, or maybe they do, and cars, they just redirect traffic for the day. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
If that's what happens, then it's a very small area between the entrance to the CVS and DeChico's, so I mean, it's basically one building in between. So I don't recall. I really don't remember.
So Heather, we lost you,
Yeah,
but
sorry. Lots of
as
issues.
that's kind of the idea with the trolley, seeing if we can incorporate the trolley, not just for transportate, like a parking shuttle from a parking location, but also how we might create other areas. Maybe we incorporate the park, maybe we don't.
I think incorporating the park is a good idea.
I think for the shopping center, you know, it would be a matter of the chamber's going to have to reach out to businesses individually and try to get a consensus on who wants to participate. And those businesses will have to help have the discussion with their landlord, saying, you know, as collective effort, we want this to happen and we want to use the space in this way, and getting the approval from the landlord for that.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to have a setup outside of my studio. Like, it makes more sense to do something separately in a separate location, whether it's like downtown or at the park, like offering some sort of mat Pilates class, like something like that. Like, there's really no point of us having a table right outside of our studio.
Unless there's like an organized group of activities happening in your shop.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but even then, like, we can't, I don't think we could do like any sort of activity parking lot on the asphalt.
Right.
So like, it would just be a promotional table. And at that point, like, what's the difference between having people come inside versus having a table set up outside? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
You would be into the idea of doing some kind of pop-up location in addition to a table, is what you're saying?
Yeah, like, I just think if we're gonna have sort of different, I guess, like activities or, you know, businesses doing events or demonstrations, like, I think that would make sense for us to like host some sort of maybe like a 30-minute class or something like that in the park. We've done that a lot of times across the street in the Macy Park. Otherwise, like, if that's not an option, then maybe we do something down in the main area. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts.
Yeah, it's not always conducive to all the different types of businesses, right? That's what we're seeing. So I guess that's where the creativity has to come in. How can we
it's great for restaurants.
Right.
I think it's great for like kid related activities, like, because they can do, you know, the art studio can do like some sort of demonstration, maybe the music studio, the new music place. And then I'm trying to think like what other types of businesses there are that could get involved.
Well, it's obvious for the restaurant, right? That's easy. They just put out some tables with food. But that's basically what's down there in our downtown area.
Yeah, and then on the other side of Ardsley Avenue, I mean, you do have some more restaurants. There's sports place, you know.
The sports place is really far. The sports place is pretty far.
I think maybe you're saying in terms of walking. I think that, again, keep in mind the trolley idea and incorporating businesses that way. We're trying to incorporate all of the businesses.
Yeah, okay, all right. I forgot about the trolley as a possibility for the.
And again, they, you know, it's really up to the business. You know, do they want to do something at their location? Do they want eyes on their location, or do they want, like Heather, would they rather pop up at another location? Maybe that would be a good complement in the park. You know, that none of that is decided. We need that feedback from the businesses. This is the initial conversation, is getting that feedback where we can from these chats, from outreach, and then discussing also with the village, you know, how their ideal you know, set up for the event, keeping in mind that we are trying to get eyes on businesses directly. And it sounds like maybe a hybrid of that, and having, you know, kind of these pop-up locations that's for businesses that would be interested in tabling.
I love the idea of like, of having like the kids in sports, or maybe the art studio, or both, having like a kid activity centered around like the parents doing like a Pilates class or something, you know, so their kids are right here and like they're here, like, you know, if we can figure that out. But again, it would have to kind of be like at a park, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think that you know, that is also like, especially for like your shopping center, you know, that it's kind of like a wish list at this point. It's, you know, are there restaurants in your shopping center that maybe would want to hop across the street to the park and do food and drink, and what would that look like, you know, because that could be, the parents could just kind of like chill, or
Mhm.
you know, there could be any kind of combination of that thing, and it will very much be up to the businesses. We also want to make sure that we create space for the local community organizations, you know, volunteer committees with the village, that kind of thing, the PTA, whoever would like to table or even do an activity. Like for Fairy Festa, the Boy Scouts set up like a fire pit and people could buy s'mores and roast s'mores, and it was raining that day, so it was like really nice. I don't know how that got past the fire department, but it did. And it was cute. It was very cute, you know, so creating opportunities, not just for the villages, the businesses, but for the organizations and so that could complement you as well.
Sounds like a hybrid is probably going to be the way it would make sense for, so all the businesses would
Yeah,
have the opportunity.
I
And
think
that's doable, you know.
I think it would feel more like the Taste of the River Towns event, where people kind of, it was like a roving event versus a Fairy Festa, or when Hastings does their Spring Fest, or, you know, their street closings. Like it's less like a street fair and more like a tasting event, a roving event where people are moving around.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think if it ends up focusing more on the parks, then we're really going to need the village's support to help us, I guess, get the proper permitting to host something like this. If it's,
Yeah,
I
I
would
don't know
imagine it's feasible.
if it's a county park. I don't know that we need the villages.
Yeah, the county's Macy Park is completely out of our.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we would just work with the county, and would Ardsley
County
be
Parks
open?
Department.
Okay.
Luigi is the superintendent over there. But they're very accessible and they do it all the time. That shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
But if there are, you know, if you hit any snags, let us know. We're here to help. But that's kind of out of our purview.
Yeah. So, and I think just so you're aware, Connie, with our like past experience with the trolley and the timing of how it takes to do things, I think all activities, the ideal would be to have it all kind of along Route 9 there. I think it's Route 9, right? Yeah, like up and down.
Yeah.
Versus kind of like having anything going out on Ardsley Road, especially with traffic. I think just keeping that one kind of keeping it with that one section and not trying to go too far away from that. So I would imagine the only park that we would incorporate would be Macy Park, if we incorporate a park. But just so that, you know, if we have a trolley, that can, the more spread out the event, the less like rotations the trolley can make. So you have to keep that in mind also.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll hear more after your discussion with Nancy and Joe on Friday as to what they can help us with, and then we can bring it out to the community. Sorry, my voice, I have a frog in my voice. And start getting their feedback as to what they envision happening.
Yeah, and that's great feedback, Heather, about, you know, hearing that you would actually rather go to the park than us try to coordinate something in the shopping center. I think the obvious thing there is that there's plenty of parking in that shopping center. It would be great, you know, if we could stop the trolley somewhere along there to pick up people. You know, another thing would be, you know, this brings up an important point we'll have to talk about with Joe and Nancy on Friday, is what about if people are parking there and walking across the street to the park, what kind of like support we might need with police, you know,
Yeah.
that's an important thing. to add to the list.
Okay. Anything else?
I can just let you know two other so I think in the past Ardsley Day may have had activities kind of where the bus stop is in the square or next to the square, like
Yes.
there's something there, right?
Yeah.
I mentioned that before, and maybe in that like
Across the street, in that, right, in the pizza in the square area over there.
Yeah,
And
so
Center Street.
yeah, so we were thinking that, and obviously that's another reason that we'd need some kind of satellite parking and a shuttle. parking spaces there, but I think that's an opportunity to create a very walkable feeling in that area. And we also, as far as cost, typically for these kinds of things, for like street fairs, where businesses are getting promoted or they may be selling things, there is some kind of fee, like for Fairy Festa, there's a fee for even if you have a downtown business to participate. We're going to propose not charging a fee, but requiring that they're members of the chamber, since it's going to be a lot of chamber resources, money, frankly, and that money comes from dues. It comes from other members' dues to pay for the staff time to support it. So we think that it's fair that if a business is going to participate, that they're a member, and their dues contribute to that, covering.
Would you think about doing like a combo, like either it's like free for members, charge whatever the right amount is for non-members, or do you want to just make it only for chamber members?
I think we could, yeah. And maybe that amount that they pay is less than they would for dues, but not significantly less. We want
to encourage membership. Exactly.
Yeah, I was almost going to say just make it
Higher.
the same as the annual
Yeah.
dues, because then it's kind of a no-brainer. Like just join the chamber for the year.
Absolutely.
And it's free.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I need to pay my dues. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm like really
No.
backlogged on email, but I will pay it. I promise.
See, I didn't say anything.
No, I know it's like been in the back of my head, and I opened a new business in December, and I still have not like fully caught up. So,
Totally.
but I will pay.
Yeah, that's why we're just trying to, remind people as we go. Everyone's busy, especially coming out of the holidays. It takes some time to get our footing. So we're, every so often, I hope I'm not annoying everybody with the reminders, but
No,
I want to just stay in everyone's radar. But yeah, we have a lot we want to do.
also because the Ardsley is such a low percentage of chamber members in terms of like, the total Rivertown's chamber, maybe this will be a good incentive for people to really join if there's a big event in September, and like if we start promoting it early, once we like get the approval from the village and have all the details, then maybe they would join the chamber early and knowing that they can be part of the event, for free.
Right, exactly.
So any other feedback you guys have, please, or if you an idea comes up with something you might want to incorporate, let us know. Okay.
Well, I'm glad that we actually have a number of participants to start the year off, which is wonderful, right? And
Yes.
we're going to have Jenna help us, right, Jenna?
Of course. No, this is
Ardsley
exciting.
resident. We need committee
Yes.
members, and
we're going to post the meeting on the website so that folks who couldn't come, I think that's helpful. So, when they have time, they can come in and see what we talked about, and maybe, they can't come in real time.
Okay.
I think it's important to do that.
Okay.
Great.
Well, I think that's it, right, guys?
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay.
All right.
right.
We'll come back to you with some of the ideas that get shared from the meeting.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you.
Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's
Happy
Day.
Valentine's. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.